and welcome to the conversation. It's your girl, Miss Mar. You can do your thing. And thank you so much for tuning in to another great episode. Just some updates about Lipstick Entertainment. We currently have three amazing podcasts, so make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hey sisters, how y'all doing? I hope you're tuning in tonight. And outside of that, we start our annual Christmas drive November the 1st. It will go through December 10th this year, and we are sponsoring 5 schools. So if you are interested in becoming a partner or donating, please do that. We are doing that care package style this year. Did you approve it? You ready? Okay. So now we're going to get into the show. I'm sitting here with an amazing individual. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Eric Williams, fellow Arthur from Indianapolis.
Thank you so much for coming on with me, and let's have a conversation.
That's cool with me.
All right. So before you became this amazing author, you had a background, you know what I mean? And I know that it has been kind of different and in and out, and so we're going to introduce them to you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your childhood, how you grew up, and where you grew up.
I grew up between Mansfield, Ohio, Indianapolis, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And as I went to high school, then I went to Auburn Hills, Michigan, and Orlando, Florida.
So you was just all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. And so who was inside the home? Who influenced you?
My mother.
Okay.
And I had a lot of influence from my uncle, too.
Okay. Okay. And so your mom, your uncle, anybody else?
Yeah, grandmother, big sister, auntie.
Okay. So a lot of ladies in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so as a child, I know, we can be knuckleheads or we can be brainiacs or whatever. What kind of kid were you?
Shoot, I was real cool, like in school, but I always had my own private life too, where I just like to get out and make money and stuff. Sometimes that calls for whatever.
Yeah. So as a teenager, what are some of the things that you got into, whether they be positive or negative?
Like I was just like I always worked, but in my late teens, after I tried Job Corps and got kicked out of there, that's when I started in the streets around 16. But before then, like I was pretty much on the good note, sneaking through stuff.
Oh, okay. You was sneaking around.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so when you were 16, were you on your own or were you still staying with mom?
Yeah, I got out on my own.
Okay. Mom wasn't going for that. Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't going.
Okay.
So I had to go.
Okay. I get that. And so in your teen years, is that when you experienced some time away?
Yeah, when I turned 17, that's when I caught my first case. And that's when I ultimately went away.
Okay.
So I was on the run for probably about 14 months before I got caught. And after that, it was just back and forth to prison, living in the streets, the street life anyway.
Yeah. How long do you think you experienced the back and forth of it?
All of my 20s, definitely.
Okay.
And like 18 to about 30.
Okay. So since you were back and forth, what made you keep going back? I mean, why would you go back to something if you're going to keep getting locked up?
I thought I had a chance in the streets again.
Okay. You know the streets don't love nobody, though.
Yeah,
That's
I know
what
it
they say.
now.
Okay.
I know it now, but then, I'd be like, all right, I'll quit talking to these people and stay talking to them. I'd be all right. I thought it was a chance.
Yeah.
It's just ugly.
So when did you finally decide the street life is not for me? I need to let it go. I'm done.
I was still in prison then. It was like when my grandmother had died and I couldn't go to the funeral. That's when I just made the decision, like, yeah, it's over with.
Yeah.
And start focusing on like what I'm doing now, fitness and remodeling houses and stuff like that. I just brushed my skills up because to support a lifestyle, you got to have something going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you actually start writing for the first time? Like, is that a talent that you've always had as a kid and a teenager, or when did you realize I can write, I can tell a story?
Like my first book, I started that in 2014, but before then, I always wrote like poems, and you know, I used to like even write letters for other people to send to their girls.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, I used to
okay,
charge
ghostwriter.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Sorry,
so
I wasn't ready for that. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but 2014 is when I finally said that I need to go ahead and do what I need to do.
Okay, now I met you some years back.
Yeah.
I believe it was 2015.
2015, 2016.
Okay, and we met on another radio platform, and you were discussing a book that you had published.
Yeah.
Do you know the book that I'm speaking of?
Yes,
It's
I do.
red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my room. Okay, so let's talk about the title of the book and the focus of the book, because I think this will be beneficial to some of my ladies.
Yeah. It's called Women Stop Falling for No Good Men. And, like, I really just thought of that just because, like, I feel like a stronger woman make a stronger community. And that's because a strong woman could keep a strong man in line if he really wants her. So I felt a lot of women, some family included, didn't know their worth, so they went for certain things. So I felt it was something that instead of just talking to a family member about it, I needed to talk to everybody about it. And when I first published it back then, like, it's totally different now. Mm-hmm. Because back then I didn't have no resources and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I did it all for me, mm-hmm. and I done got better.
So is the book like an instruction guide, or is it in story form? Like, how do you express to people, like, stop going for this type of guy?
Yeah, it's like the first part, book one of it, is about like showing like different signs of no good men, like the consequences that come. It's like 10 principles right there. Mm-hmm. And it goes into stories, like to give great detail and example, and, you know, give the ultimate of what could happen and what would happen if you had went for this instead. Mm-hmm. And then part two is just like 6 principles of like giving strength and motivation to women.
So where did all this information come from? Like, how did you know, not only do I know this information, but I'm going to write it down and deliver it to the masses? Like, where did that come from?
Just, you know, I just went off of what I would tell, like, a woman in my family.
Mm-hmm. So just experiences you've had.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many books have you written and published?
5.
Okay. And so the first book was for the ladies. Yeah. To help us out to stop dealing with no good men. So go ahead and get that. And so where is that book at?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
So like, you put in Women Stop Falling for the number 4, No Good Men, mm-hmm. and it'll pop up in Google.
Okay. So ladies, it's cuddle season. Be careful. Look on there and make sure you get the guide. Okay. So book number 2. What is book number 2 like?
Good Girls Bounce Back. It's just about a lady who, like, started out, she got fooled by a man and it, like, turned out to be something totally different. And she went through a whole bunch of stuff, like, you know, all kind of physical and mental abuse. You know, her mother and family members had to endure some of that pain, and she came back, like, greater than ever, you know, and he got his lesson in the end.
And so is that book fiction?
Yeah, it's fiction.
Okay. Yeah. And so what made you want to go from something that's real and transparent and a guide to something fictional?
To give an example of what could happen.
Okay. And,
you know, sometimes you gotta make up something.
Yeah. And make it make sense for people that may not see what you're saying. So what's the name of that book?
Good Girls Bounce Back.
Okay. Good Girls Bounce Back. So that's book number 2. And book number 3?
Malik's Heartless Mission. Yeah, but see, that's still for women, but it ain't. It's something like different.
Okay. So tell us about the book.
Malik just had some mental issues, and, you know, he ended up having like supernatural powers and everything else, but he was just on a rampage, you know, meeting women online, you know, and killing most of them, you know.
So he's a whole serial killer, is that the name? But I couldn't even get it out. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay.
But he seemed real cool, though, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in that book, does it give any type of details that would help women better understand Malik before they encounter death, I guess?
Yeah, don't fall for the charm.
Okay, don't fall for the charm.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what year did you write the second and third book? Do you remember?
17 and 18.
And how is it that you can just come up with this content back to back like that? Like, do you always have stories in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we just got
a
stories
couple
up here.
now.
Okay, okay. Let me find out. Okay, so we discussed the first 3 books, and now we're on book number 4, right? Okay, I'm keeping up. So what's book number 4?
Marry Me or Live in Misery.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just
Tell me
like,
more.
you know, a dude that was going around messing with different women, but, you know, he started getting paid back, but the person who came back for him, you would have never expected. It's more like a mystery, but at the same time, fantasy, too.
Okay. Okay. And then the 5th book.
I just took this one back, but it's Social Media's Most Wanted, and it's more like, it was more like a Bonnie and Clyde type deal, but they just was after something totally different. But I'm going to change it up a little bit and put it back out. So that's coming back soon. So
you just be having all these stories up here, and then you just put them out. Okay. Now, what have you discovered is a pro and a con in publishing your own books? Like, have you encountered great experiences, great losses? What is that part of it like? Because I know people that can write, right? But I don't think they know, like, all of that part. So what's that like?
It's just something that you just got to, like, stick to. And even when you feel like that you're not doing nothing, it's somebody out there watching, you know? And, like, for me, it's been an uphill, downhill battle because, like, I be on it for so long, lose motivation, jump to something else and stuff like that. But it's all about being consistent and, you know, sticking to it.
But even the publishing process, like, do you go through a certain agency, or do you find people that help supply, or how do you get that part done?
Yeah, I do, like, all the editing, formatting, I do that myself. And then I got a lady that I buy the covers from, but Amazon does it all. I just submit my material to them, and they print them as I want them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's dropping off some gems. You can go on Amazon and get your books published. I did not know you could do that.
Yeah.
That's
all you
amazing.
Gotta do, like, is know how to do the work. Otherwise, pay somebody else like me to do it for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, submit it, and you just pay as you go.
Now, have you experienced anything that's been, like, disheartening in this situation when it comes to books? Like, have you know how sometimes when you're doing a project, people will come to you, right? And they'll be like, oh, I can help you, or I can do this, or I can. Have you experienced anything like that you can give people a warning on when it comes to trying to get their books published?
When it comes to it, like, don't go out spending that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for these people that say that they market your book so much and everything else, because in the end, once they get the money and publish your book, you won't hear from them no more. It's a lot that you can do for yourself, and it's better to, you know, keep it in-house because you save money for something that you was going to be paying nothing for anyway.
Okay. So out of the 5 books that you have written, which one is your favorite?
Good Girls Bounce Back.
And why do you think that's your favorite?
I don't know. Like I put a little more time and effort into that book than any other rest. And, you know, that's the book that's been sold the most. So I done made more money.
Okay. So do you think that you ever, like, fall for or have some of the same experiences as any of the characters? Because if you anything like Malik, I'm just asking. Okay. Yeah. So you don't put yourself in your book at all?
Nah, okay. I just think of what be entertaining and something weird, you know.
And so since you become an author, has your circle at all changed? Like, do you link?
Not really.
Okay.
Like, Like I do, but it be all online.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got friends like from everywhere, but I ain't never seen them before.
So maybe if someone is interested in writing a book or they want to, link up with other people, how have you done that? Are there like groups, or how did you meet these other people?
Yeah, like from groups.
Okay.
And like some of them will follow me from Amazon.
Okay.
And get my information and stuff like that.
Okay. So there is an author community out there. If you are out there and you want to write a book, there are other people that you can link with, and hopefully you guys can network together and support each other. I think that's so important, to have people around you that are like-minded, that do similar things. You can kind of like push each other, give each other advice, and all of that. So out of the 5 books, you said the second one is your favorite, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm paying attention. I'll be paying attention. And so what do you see yourself doing moving forward when it comes to your talent?
I know that like right now I'm in the process of like starting to do audio books.
Okay.
That's something that I want to incorporate in, but right now like I'm looking for celebrities to do like write autobiographies and stuff like that. And I just connected with one, so I'm just waiting to see what happens with this, and then hopefully that could put my name out there more, and I could start getting more in the industry.
Now, is it difficult to, because I know you said you work on homes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it difficult to do that and also be an author?
I mean, it is, but I know what I want, so it ain't.
Yeah. Now, do you see yourself like taking your books to film or plays?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got great things like in line for them.
Okay.
But it's just with me, I get to doing too much, and then I forget about this, forget about that.
Well, you need a calendar or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like okay. Well, I'm excited to just look into some of your work. I know I have one of the books and I started it, but I'll be reading like different books at once. And sometimes that doesn't work, because it's like you're trying to follow this story, but you're trying to get this information, and it's all over the place. What I love about what you do is you're a Black man doing this. And that is not, I mean, you don't normally see that all the time. Do you see a lot of Black authors?
Nah, I hear that at the bank and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. That is amazing. So was there anybody that was an influence on you becoming a writer, or did you just decide, you know what, I got these stories, I'm gonna tell them?
Yeah, pretty much that's what I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is definitely awesome. So what do you think is something that you learned from childhood, teenage years, and those mistakes to where you are now? What is something that you can kind of give the people?
Just pretty much to, everything that you're supposed to do is a thought before you do the wrong thing. That's why they say follow your first mind.
Okay. Follow your first mind. And so for everybody that is watching, please share. Tell your friends about the conversation, but also about his amazing books, because I think we need to support each other a little better.
Yeah.
Have you been a part of any like festivals or anything here where you can demonstrate your work?
Not really.
Why?
Like, I'll be doing too much.
You gotta sit down so you can show off your things. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you. He said you can get on Amazon.com to see and find his work. How do they follow you on social media? What are your platforms?
Bottom Line Publications, LLC. Follow that. And Eric Williams. Follow that too.
Now, as far as the pricing for your books, like what do they really range in, so we know what to expect?
$15 paperback and $2.99 Kindle.
Okay, cool. Well, when you start doing future projects and everything, I have to bring you back.
Yeah,
it's good seeing you, because I haven't seen you in some years, but I'm happy to see you're still at it, because what I found with a lot of authors, which is weird, is they'll write a book and that'll be it.
Yeah, they disappear.
Yeah.
They lose hope.
Yeah. Do you ever get writer's block, though? Because you said you did one in 1 year and then the other one in the other year. Like, how?
I still got like 7 more on my computer. Like, I always write.
Okay. So you just be going. And you just, okay.
Especially when I get mad and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's therapeutic for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So you think you're just going to continue your journey there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I ain't stopping.
So you got plenty more books to come.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Movies, everything.
Movies and everything.
Yeah.
We doing everything. Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much.
It's going to be wrote.
Yes, I appreciate that. And I'm happy that you're doing it as a black man in our community, because that's dope. Everybody's not doing that, and I'm happy to see after all these years you're still at it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the conversation. And when you come out with another project, we're going to bring you back and talk about that book as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the conversation. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Please like, share, follow. Love you guys. Bye.